Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, I show you a technique of some sort. Could be a fancy fold, fun fold, could be a technique. I'm going to show you how to make a watercolor background today. It's kind of quick and easy way to create some interest on your card. I did a watercolor wash last week, I think. And so this is another way that you can create backgrounds using the Fluid 100 watercolor paper and a bit of a wash technique. So let me switch over to my desktop. Actually, I'll show you my hands. You can see, can you see my hands? I had a run-in with a reinker when I went to get the blueberry bushel reinker out. So my hands are a little bit, I think it's cherry cobbler. It doesn't come off that easy. So I guess, yeah, if you see them, you may know, oh yeah, you can see them. They're a bit of a mess. But yeah, I don't know what happened. My one of mine, of course, it had to be cherry cobbler that leaked, or yeah. So anyway, in the midst of cleaning up. So if you see red all over, hopefully I won't get it on my card. I've tried to clean it up as much as I can. All right, I'm going to use the Adventurous Sky stamp set. I'm not using the dies this time. I love this stamp set. It's just so much fun. And we're going to create, if I can find it here, a background. I've got a piece, this is a half of a piece of the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So it's 5 by 7, and I've just cut it at the 3.5-inch mark. And that's what we're going to use. So we need that. We need a water painter. I think I've got this water in there. So I've got, this is the biggest brush because it just works best. And I've got some Wink of Stella. I'm going to try and add that to my to the wash that I make and see if I can get some shimmer. So you could do this on your ink or on your glass mat. I'm going to do it on a clear block. This is my largest block. And I've got some blueberry bushel reinker, which has had the run-in with the cherry cobbler. And I am just going to put 1 drop. When I tried this card before, I ended up with the blueberry bushel quite dark. And so I'm going to try and make it a little bit lighter. So we're going to add some water. You can use your spritzer if you've got it. So I am going to try, because blueberry bushel is quite a bright, dark color. So I'm going to try and make this not quite so dark by thinning it out a little bit. So 1 drop and then a fair amount of water. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do before I do this, I'm not sure how much Wink of Stella is in this one. If it's not a much, I will open a new one. So I'm going to try. Feels like there's some in here, but it's not squeezing. Okay, so let's open a new one. Now, if you ever opened a brand new one and forgot why you couldn't squeeze it, oh, there is this black ring in Wink of Stella. So you need to take that out. It's kind of the protection so it doesn't leak all over. And then you screw that back on. So then I'm just going to press, and now I've got Wink of Stella, and I'm going to mix that in. So I've got a shimmery wash that I have made, and hopefully that'll show up. Okay, so what we're going to do, and hopefully this is light enough, is we're just going to take, oh yeah, that's much better than the one I did before, and I'm just going to make kind of blobs. I'm not really worried about whether they're perfect circles. I'm just kind of creating a circle. Oh yeah, that's a really pretty color, and I don't know if you can see. Oopsie. Ugh. Oh, I've got blue. Okay, let's do that there. Okay, I think, see that you don't need much. Now I'm going to get a baby wipe to clean my hands off and to clean my glass mat off. And I don't know, you can see the shimmer. So that's really cool just by adding a little bit of Wink of Stella to your whitewash. And as I said, you don't need a lot. Keep that there. I'm going to use my heat tool because I do want this to be dry before I stamp on it. And so hopefully this will dry. Again, when I tried it before, my tuxedo black memento ran a little bit, smudged a little bit because it wasn't completely dry. But I kind of went light. Hey Sharon, welcome. I went light on the re-inker and the amount that I put on here. It's not really thick. So you could do this. So I've just done circles. You could do just lines, all sorts of things, you know, shapes. Gosh, it's so shimmery. How pretty. So yeah, you could do all sorts of shapes. So I'm going to let that dry just a bit and we'll move on to kind of getting ready for the rest of my card. Just I want to leave that a chance to dry just a little bit more. So I've got a piece of blueberry bushel and it's 5.5 by 8.5. So we'll score it at 4.25. And as always, fold into the mountain or the raised line. Like that. Okay, and then I've got a piece of basic black. So you remember I used half of a sheet of the Fluid 100, which is 3.5 by 5. So my piece of basic white or basic black is 3 3/4 by 5.25. And so it's not going to fill the card base like it normally is. It will have more space on the sides than it typically does. But because I don't like to waste my Fluid 100, I typically cut it just in half. Okay. So then I've got a piece of basic black that's 3/4 of an inch by, and you don't need this. I just cut this piece 3/4 of an inch. We're going to cut it off. And a piece of Fluid 100 that is, well, actually, sorry, my Fluid 100 is 3/4 of an inch and my basic black is 1 inch. Okay, so let's find, we'll do some stamping as that continues to dry. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says, "You're the best, plain and simple." I love that. And hopefully I can get it straight, but if not, I have lots of room. Like, I could have done better. Got it a little closer to the bottom. Oh, that's better. Okay. Give myself some extra. And then I'm just going to take so I'm going to cut a tag end on the left side. Cut up from the middle and then cut your diagonal lines like that. Okay. And then this piece is going to go on to here. So I'm going to try, oh, I've got some of that pesky red on my Fluid 100. Darn, I thought I had managed to clean my hands, but it is hard to clean up when you get that. Of course, that never happens to you. All right, so I've tried to follow the line. Yeah, definitely got. I'm going to try that again because let's see if I can clean my hand. Hey, Mary, welcome. A little bit more. There we go. And we'll try and restamp that because I'm not happy about my red accident here. Hopefully I can stamp this as well as I did the first time. Oh, pretty good. Whew. All right. So I've got one little piece of dimensional left. Put that on that end. Trim it because it's a little bit too big. There we go. And now let's see if I can find, oh, I've got some black ones and that works. Did you know we have black dimensionals? We have them and they come in a package of combination package of the regular size and the minis, which is really handy. And they're really good for Typically, I don't use them on white or very vanilla, but this Fluid 100 watercolor paper is really thick and they don't show through. Okay, so I think we're good. I've got that dry, and I pulled out the 3 different planes, and I'm going to stamp them using my Tuxedo Black Memento. Actually, I'm just going to use, I've just changed my mind. I'm just going to use the two planes, the 2 smaller size planes. Little bits of Post-it note. So my sentiment's going to go across the middle. So I'm just going to take and stamp my planes. Well, that one's dive bombing. Oh well, that's okay. Kind of on and off the paper. There. Lid. There we go. All right, so I've stamped it. It's so pretty with that shimmer. I'm going to have to play with that some more. Oh, let me clean that up. Okay, I'm going to get that. That's the lovely part of this glass mat. You can just kind of wipe it off. Okay, so when you've got a piece of cardstock or the Fluid 100 that may have warped a little bit when you've used a heat tool, I like to use my Terran tape, and that just makes sure that it will stay down and not curl up at the ends or on the sides. So I'm just going to put 3 strips of Terran tape and take your pick tool. So my trick with the Terran tape is to just peel it back halfway. The middle one you're going to have to peel back all the way, but the other 2 just peel back halfway, and then you can take and put onto your piece of cardstock. Get it into position for the most part, because it is so sticky. By only putting it on part way, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to be able to kind of move it around or get it into position. And then I'll just use liquid glue for this piece onto my blueberry bushel. Get it into, there we go. Hey Carol, welcome. All right, just going to hold that as it dries. And then this one will go across the middle. And I'm just going to glue that. I'm not going to use, I've already used dimensionals, so it's already got popped up. And so this is just going to go like that. And then I pulled out, these are the Basic Gray and Smoky Slate pearls that are part of the Country Flowers. I was going to say Country Birdhouse, but that's Country Flowers suite. And so we'll use the Smoky Slate ones on the front of the card. And then the last thing we need is, I've got a piece of basic white that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So let's just take and stamp that plane on the inside of the card in basic black. So you could make a bunch of these. Take a whole sheet of watercolor paper and make a whole bunch of these backgrounds, and you'd have them ready to go when you need a card. And then you are set. Isn't that pretty? And look how shimmery that is. Just a couple of drops, well, it's probably more than that, of the Wink of Stella into your reinker. So I have a lot of reinker left here, but I'm just going to wipe it off. So if I had thought about it, I would have grabbed some more of the watercolor paper, and then I could have made a bunch. Now, to clean your Fluid 100 or your water painter off, I just kind of press on it and just run and press it into my baby wipe, until it's running clear. You may still have the color on your on the brush itself, but as long as that water is running clear like it is, you are good to go for the next time round. So they do clean up pretty easily. Put the lid on, and yeah, there we go. Clean up my mess. Now I just, thank you. Now I just have to clean these messy hands from that accident with the cherry cobbler reinker. I'm going out tonight. Wouldn't that be the case? But I do have some soap that somebody gave me that has pumice in it. So I'm hoping that'll clean off my hands. All right, everybody. So tomorrow we'll be posting in the morning a color challenge for you. So come join me in the morning. Come check my Instagram, Facebook, and check to see the colors, and then come and join me tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we'll make a card together using those colors. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.